Well, we are getting ready to record the podcast, so this is going to be a quick one. Chiefs did not make a move to get back into the first round after trading for Frank Clark. Thought that they might, given the news today, and I'm sure as people arrive, we will get lots of questions about that. I think there are plenty of players left. There were a couple of surprises, like Titus Howard going in the first round. N'Keal Harry, the last pick of the first round, an interesting pick. I think probably most Chiefs fans are going to be sad about the fact that Marquise Brown is gone. A guy that was probably the single most capable player to replace Tyreek Hill. Just impossible to get Hill's skill set. So as close as you can get, it was probably Marquise Brown. And I think that's going to be an opportunity that could have been realized, but maybe it wasn't a priority until too late, and the 29th pick was already gone. Don't know if they're making other moves. I thought LJ Collier was kind of a reach. A little bit older, definitely not an athlete, plays with a lot of power though, and teams really like him. And that's the word that I've heard for weeks. I had him as a low second, so this is a whole round early. And the guy that I tweeted out that really threw me for a loop, Daniel Jones going 6th. Didn't expect that. Thought that was smoke. Evidently, they proved me wrong. So here's what it comes down to. We're going to take a quick look at the board and what's left of it. A couple of guys. Jawan Taylor didn't go. Drew Lock didn't go. Cody Ford, some guys on offense. The top wide receivers. So let's talk about that real quick. Paris Campbell and A.J. Brown are the top two on my board. They both fit what the Chiefs want to do. They can both run out of the slot. They're both good athletes. Campbell is an excellent athlete. Not quite as up to where Brown is. DK Metcalf is still there. A lot of folks asking about him. I just don't think he's a route runner that the Chiefs can use. But he's got speed. Deebo Samuel's another guy that can run out of the slot that I think can do some things like that you like for what Tyreek Hill used to do. Beyond that, Fat and Hawkinson both went in the first. We kind of knew they were going to. I still disagree with it. I don't think tight end is that great a position, but hey, it is what it is. Nice to see y'all, folks. Glad y'all are joining here as the draft is wrapping up on night 1. I'm going to do about 15 minutes because we are going to record the Locked On Chiefs podcast here in a little bit and go over all the news of the day over there. So make sure you check out the podcast tonight. It's sure to be a doozy. Byron Murphy and Greedy Williams are still available on the defensive side of the ball. Those are two guys to target. Julian Love, even Trayvon Mullen, Taylor Rapp's still out there. The Chiefs have a lot of guys that can help them. The secondary was not heavily drafted tonight, so there are still options there. Can they use those two second rounders to move up into the second, get into the 40s? I think they certainly can. Whether they will or not, that's a good question, because now what you could have used to solidify one thing, now you got to take care of wide receiver as well. So don't have very long on here tonight, so let's start with the questions. You guys make sure you hit the question marks there early. Let's see. Trey 757. I think they will. I think they will try to move up. I don't know if they're going to get Grady or Adderley, though. Trep, sorry. I don't know that he's going to be there. Nathan Keck, is DK not good? It's not that he's not good. It's that he's a one-trick pony. He's got long speed. He doesn't maneuver well. He doesn't change direction well. He runs some routes, but it's a pretty limited tree. He will give you that stretch factor, and without Tyreek Hill, so maybe that gives you a better option. Maybe part of Hill's game, the long game, is enough for the Chiefs to make a move for that, because they need a field stretcher, and they can't rely on Watkins to be there for 16 games. He's proven through his career that he can't do that. He is a 1B or wide receiver 2. He cannot be a 1 because of the injury history. So that's important. I was surprised by the Darnell Savage. Yeah, I've been telling you guys for a couple of weeks I thought he might go in the first. I had him as pick number 34 on my board. So not outlandish for Savage to be gone. Donnie Couch, Emmanuel Hall, late round go, secondary first. Not late round. I think he'll be probably a round 3 guy. His injury history is the only reason I think you would ding him. I think he does a decent route tree. I think he's fairly athletic. He's got long speed. Nitch G, Hakeem Butler going to be a target for the Chiefs? No. Hakeem Butler cannot do the things that Tyreek Hill can, especially now. You have to look at that stretching aspect of Tyreek Hill's game. That's not Hakeem Butler at all. How long will Andy Isabella stay on the board? I think he's a 4th or a 5th round guy. I think he'll be there plenty of time. Am I okay with Sweat gone? It came out late today that he didn't actually have the heart condition, that it was misdiagnosed. And if that's the case, then there's no reason not to. He's still a little stiff. He wasn't like a top 10 player for me, but he was a first rounder. So I think that's fine. Morphe says, Tyreek been cut? No, not that I know of right now. I haven't been looking here the last 10 minutes or so to try to get ready for this and try to get ready to record the pod. Chances for trading for Patrick Peterson. I got to think with the need for wide receiver, what it was going to take to get Peterson is probably too steep now in order to take care of business that you have to to make up for what I expect to be the loss of Tyreek Hill. Good question, Jason. Doug dropped a plan to get another RB in favor of CB. There never was a plan to get another RB, at least not early in the draft. That's a late draft selection. They're going to go CB or wide receiver. They got to get that done. They need outside speed. Let's see. Zombie ops on Hakeem Butler. I don't know what you mean by ops. Hakeem Butler is a possession receiver, as far as I can tell. He's not a field stretcher. He's not a number 1 receiver in my book. Yes, New England took N'Keal Harry. Not too concerned about the punt return duties. They got Tremont Smith. They got plenty of punt returners. Not worried about that at all. Would you trade up for Greedy, Rapp, or Murphy, Sean Gleason? I would trade up for any of them from 63. I would trade up as high as you can to get a corner or a safety that if you feel that's it and that wide receiver hasn't jumped them as a priority, I would trade up to get any of those guys. They're all at least worth a 40th pick in my book. Is the info on Ty coming from Morales? His wife recorded him. He said stuff to her that is going to get him probably charged with a crime, and I don't know how he's going to get out of that. Yeah. Tommy, you're nuts. He was recorded threatening his wife. So, yeah, he's gone. The question will be whether he's banned from the league or not. Dalton Dressler, would Paris Campbell and Taylor Rapp be a good in the 2nd round picks? Yeah, I just don't think they'll both be there at 61 and 63. That's the problem. What pick shocked you the most? Titus Howard, easily. I had him as a 3rd round guy with a lot of work to do. And personally, I didn't put him on my board because he's not the athlete that I would look for in an offensive lineman. So that was the shock for me. Is the wide receiver they trade for in the league? Not off the top of my head that you could actually wrangle away from somebody. Good question, Ian. Andrew McCown. Why did you want Taylor Fall so far? Because he's a power guy. He's a run game first guy. He's not a modern, speedy, athletic left tackle. So Philip Houston, thanks for the donation. Is it worth bringing back Kelvin on the cheap? No, Kelvin doesn't help you replace what you lost in Tyreek Hill or what you're going to. So no, I don't think he can help you at all. Cleveland Farrell, yeah, he went a lot higher than I thought. I like Cleveland. I thought he was going to be a late 1st, early 2nd guy. But good for him. The guy that I really wanted, that I really like on that group is Wilkins. I thought he went right where he should have. That was great. Tommy, you're wrong. Go back and listen to the audio. Gary Holland, what will you think the Chiefs will do with 91 and 93 if they don't draft up? It's 61 and 63, right? And now they don't have 93 or 2 or whatever they had. Now they have 84. So I think they will try to move around. Scroll too far. Dr. Sanitary 43. How badly does Tyreek ruin draft plans? It's a serious monkey wrench, but they have a board stacked for a reason. That's why you build a board so that you know where things lie. Does it change your priorities a little bit? Probably, but you still know where players' values are. And I think what we saw from this is that wide receivers weren't terribly valued just because they're not that great in this class. So that's the way that works. Let's see. If the Chiefs cut Hill, they won't win a Super Bowl. You don't know. Paris Campbell, Josiah Belt, Paris Campbell is definitely a fit. He can do all the intermediate and underneath work that Tyreek Hill does. He's got speed. It's not quite a Tyreek Hill. He's just not quite as shifty. That's the thing. Nobody is. You can't replace Tyreek Hill with one player. There's nobody like him. He is unique. Jason, I don't know that they knew. I don't think that they would have given up 29 if they knew this was going to happen and that they were going to not have his services. I think they would have pushed to keep 29 and put some kind of other package together with 2s and 3s. That's what I think they probably would have done. I think this did catch them by surprise a little bit, especially with the announcement yesterday that they weren't going to charge him, and then this recording drops. So we're at 10 minutes. Got 5 more, folks. So let's keep rolling. Are we going to go after AJ Brown? I think he's a viable target. I like him on this. I had him as wide receiver too. So he is somebody that can help this offense. Donnie again. Will we stand as good an offense next year if everyone's reacting? Tyreek is a big chunk of this offense, but you have the ultimate eraser in Patrick Mahomes. If you get guys that can get open, that will help him. Patrick Mahomes has a gun that can throw in a tight window, so it's about the speed that you can get, especially a young guy when you draft him, up to speed in the offense and comfortable with Patrick so that Patrick's able to throw to him. That's what it's going to be. But Patrick Mahomes is a serious disadvantage for dealing with a situation like this. Billy Hodge, will they go after a veteran wide receiver? There's almost nobody out there. I looked earlier tonight and nothing popped out to me as somebody that should go after, but we'll do a deeper dive here in the next day or two. Any chance of Jordy Nelson coming back? No, I think Jordy's going to retire. He's done. I don't have much thoughts on Khalil Hodge right now. Sorry, bud. Brennan, good question, though. Does the tape prove he is guilty, and will he be cut? I think he will be cut. If nothing else, it proves that he threatened his wife, and it's going to open up the investigation into everything else. So this is going to get nasty. I think he will be charged. But I don't have any. That's just an opinion on my part. So let's see. Debo, please. Also, Justice Hill. Ryan Platt, that's a good point. Justice Hill is a steady player and an explosive guy, too. I wouldn't mind that. Crabtree might be an option. A couple people have mentioned that. Thanks, Dakota. I just don't know if that's really a reality. I don't know what he's going to be worth. I think wide receiver has to come off the board tomorrow for the Chiefs somewhere. Along with a corner or a safety. I would lean towards corner because I think they're harder to find. Seeing what was available at 29 as far as pass rush, do you think Veach called it correctly? Yeah, especially with Cleveland gone, guys that fit in the power. I think he did just fine. I think Frank Clark's better than everybody that was drafted tonight at the edge, and that's going to be drafted all weekend long. If you're just talking about replacing edge rush in a 4-3, Frank Clark's better than everybody in the draft. Almost there. Any receiver in free agency? Nothing off the top of my head, Gary. If Tyson Deed out, then is AJ Green a real possibility? Big test? No, I don't think AJ Green's leaving. They'd want so much for him. It's ridiculous. So no, he's not going anywhere. Yeah, Tommy, that's the way it's going to go. They might try to bolster him, but they don't want to run the ball anymore. It's going to be the Kelsey show and whoever else they can put at wide receiver. I would like to see Dieter step up. I think this opens the door for Pringle. Can Demarcus Robinson really step up? We're going to find out. How many overall picks do we have? They've got 3 tomorrow and 4 on Saturday right now. So 7 left. Do you think Pat can carry the team without Hill? I think Pat can make a lot of good receivers look very good. I'll put it that way. Keegan, I think you're wrong. Yeah. Nelson Aguilar, I don't know that he can really help you. Maybe a little bit, but Tommy, stop adding me. That's the way it's going to be. You can get charged for threatening people. I didn't make the rules. That's just the way they are. I say if we bring back D'Anthony Thomas, D'Anthony Thomas is out there. That could be an option. Andy Isabella's going to be out there. Yep. I think you guys are right about that. I think Justin Lane's solid. He's got some technique work to do, but on day 2, that's where I have him going, and I think he will. Yeah, well, I don't think a prosecutor is going to see it that way. So we'll find out. Maybe you guys are right, and maybe he doesn't get charged. But when he is, you just remember I told you. What's your thoughts on Greedy and Byron dropping? I'm surprised DeAndre went above them, quite frankly, but I think they're both specific scheme fits. So I think that's probably a factor in why Greedy and Byron Murphy are still on the board. Can Chiefs trade up enough to get Greedy? Evgeny, I think they can. The question is, will they? That'll cost them more. Now that you got to get a receiver and a corner, as well as stock up on depth everywhere else, that makes things harder. I don't think Dez can really help you much, but stranger things have happened. Thornhill at 61, Jake Jones, I don't think he's going to make it. So that's just my gut feeling. Let's see here. Yeah, Red Royce, you're right. Sammy does need to stay healthy. That's what they have to bank on, and they have to supplement him as best they can. Let's see here. All right. Guys, I see a lot of you feeling negative or the season's over. They can't do anything. There are ways around every problem. Don't get too depressed. They'll figure it out. Again, you have the best quarterback in the league. You can do a lot with that. So I wouldn't feel too bad. But I'm closing in. I got 1 minute till we're done, and then I got to jump on and record the podcast. Make sure you check that out. I'm sure Chris and Seth will have opposite ideas. We'll talk all that stuff through. Trayvon Wescu in the fifth, I think can be good. I like the way he is actually. I like his aggression. I don't know of any buzz to get Peterson. I know it's a good idea. I just haven't heard anything legit. So, the Madden curse, Isaiah Hicks. That's a good question. I think there's some truth to the Madden curse. Things just happen to go wrong for guys like that. So. I was not happy to see that. I wish that was the worst thing that happened today. So, hey, no, I won't trade up for DK. Yes, Dieter can be a good player. Cool, Mars. I like that. Mitch, we'll go record it and I'll get the pod posted as soon as possible. It'll definitely be up by the commute tomorrow. So, but I'll try to get it up tonight. So, with that, it's been over 15. I'm running late. The guys are waiting on me. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I'll do another one of these tomorrow night after whatever happens on day 2 for the Chiefs. And we will go from there. Check out the podcast. Check out the board so you can see who's left. And I'll talk to you guys later.